Hi, I am Lucy Humphris. This is Filippos Raskovic, composer of Ostria, and I decided to ask him a few questions about the piece. Number 1. What inspired you to write Ostria?
Actually, because the title is called Ostria, which is this Greek naval term for a wind that comes from North Africa and blows to Greece and brings like a dark dust from the desert when it rains. And it's quite interesting because one could assume that the starting point was the title, but actually it was the trumpet itself. And listening to lots of free improv performers play the trumpet, like Peter Evans, for example, or even like from jazz playing, I was quite interested to kind of use their techniques and to see how it would work in a composition. And particularly like some more of the granular sounds and some more of the kind of dirty sounds. And then this kind of sound evoked the title and the name Austrian.
Number 2. What was the process of bringing this piece to life like?
Firstly, like it was working intensely with an instrumentalist, Lucy. We started with some different kind of techniques to achieve this kind of grain sound, and then start to layer it in different ways. And having that like as a starting point, I recorded like our different workshops, and then I was basically using it and playing it around with the recording themselves on my own. And I really tried to focus kind of like the dramaturgy that these kind of sounds could have within a piece. So yeah, it was quite interesting to find like this technique with the doodle tongue and for trumpeters if they know, and for the double bass sound, and like how all of these different things kind of achieve this really distorted granular sound and not even without a mute. So it was really nice to play with this technique in the context of the piece and to place it in different like sections, more in like kind of a rotation section where it kind of like creates more like a drone, or to use it in a more climactic sections. So it's quite interesting to use this kind of main sound that is in the very beginning and to see how it functioned in different places in the piece.
Number 3. What was it about these particular extended techniques that made you want to include them in the piece?
I think it was like a very organic way of thinking about just really liking and enjoying the sound. I didn't even think it as a kind of extend technique. I like how Lucy like just was really easy for her to play around with it and to become kind of like it didn't feel like an extend technique. It felt like you were coming up with the sound at the moment. I think having as a starting point the fact that it was not like a technique of saying let's do this and this. It was just try and create this sound world using these different really like concrete trumpet techniques, but it was not like I'm going to write a piece like an etude using this technique. I think it was just much more about the sound that it created. And what I really, really liked about it, and I think it's something to be also explored more, is how, particularly in the recording, if you really listen closely, you can hear all these different grains, almost like small little particles in the trumpet that are coming out of it. And it's something that evokes again this kind of Austria, this kind of dust. But it's nice also to feel that I think the piece also feels like a trumpet piece. There's a lot of trumpety moments.